We are live from Cambridge, Massachusetts, the capital city of the worldwide internet movement. This is Jeff Lant, the CEO and the co-founder of Worldprofit at www.worldprofit.com. That's WORLDPROFIT.com. We have been here making money for people over 20 years. We find ourselves today in the unsettled place called Cambridge. The thousands of defamatory emails went out end of last week. The surveillance planes and robots have been flying low around the city again. We thought we'd have a rest by now. We thought we'd have some rest by now. And it's still open. And so it makes one settle to know that one is in the center of the center of the center of the center of the internet. Steps from Harvard University, where I did my graduate work. And we don't have an arrest yet. And to know the likely perpetrator came from one of the most liberal, civilized, educated communities of the world, Brookline, Massachusetts. And it was their communique, insult, demagoguery, filth, vulgarity, expletives not deleted, came from one of the most liberal and civilized cities on earth. It's upsetting. Now, Tiffany, I called you when I had a chance to speak to you. Now I don't have a chance. You want to sit down, relax, and listen. This program is dedicated to making money. Not thinking about it, not wishing for it, not searching your bottom of your pants pockets for it. I'm talking about making money. If there's anyone in this room who wants to make money, tell me, because you're the only person I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with the people who say I can't do this. I don't want to deal with the people who say I can't do that. I don't want to deal with the people who trip over themselves, making their own lives so damn difficult, and then going out and bragging about how they're going to make money. For those of you who have read my book, Netprofits, you know the answer to this question, and I want you to put it on the screen. I broke down the categories on Netprofit into categories. What is the percentage of people like Tiffany who will fail on the internet? And thus, what is the percentage of people who will succeed? Who knows the answer? And while you're mulling that over, I'm going to introduce my colleague and friend, Chris Ninnis from Cornwall, who knows a little bit about ships that sank. Because there are ships in this room which are already waterlogged and underwater. So, Chris, say a few words to the folks or seeing something. You see, you folks don't know the answer to it, and that's the point. I can give you the book. I can give you the instructions to make money. I could dig the hole for you to find the treasure, and you'd miss it. Now, I'm going to try once more. Anybody? What percentage of people like Tiffany on the internet are going to fail? And what percentage are going to succeed? And we're going to talk about why that is. What are your opening words for today? You can see I'm lit. I'm ready for a severe food fight.
Well, the way it's looking at the moment, 100% are going to fail.
Yeah, that's the alarming part.
I come from a long line of ship sinkers. So if you want your ship sunk, come on in.
But today, I'm going to talk about you folks who have taken no action. The internet has been a popular venue now for over 20 years. When I look at my colleagues, Sandy Hunter, the longest-serving female president of any internet company in the world, she was there at the inception. Women, she's a founding mother. She was there. And she didn't say, oh, this obstacle, oh, this obstruction, oh, this problem. She said, let me at it. And for over 20 years now, she's been president of this corporation. If you want to know a woman who succeeded, there she is. There she is. Not Miss America, but Miss Internet. There she goes, Miss Internet. There's George Koch, the founding father, who was there at the inception, who didn't say, oh my God, I can't do it today, and I certainly will not do it tomorrow, and don't ask me to follow any directions. Oh my God, don't ask me to follow any directions and learn. He didn't say that. So as a result, he's a handsome young millionaire, multi-millionaire, money to burn. Why? Because he followed his own advice. And that's the advice we're giving to you. And then there was me. And I think you'll learn a couple of things. I don't put my hand on anything that isn't going to return a significant investment. Nothing. And I didn't get in the internet to say, oh, I can't do it now. And George Koch and Cindy Hunter invited me to be part of this partnership over 22 years ago. It took me about 5 seconds to say yes. I had one question. Can you make money through this thing, I said. And George said, more than you can imagine, if you follow the directions. And I said, let me at them. And as a result, I became very wealthy indeed. Now, I'm talking to people like Philip. Here's the first problem. As Chris knows, in this space, we have experts that are here all day, all day. And people like Philip and Harold and Rose and Tiffany and Leander in here. Don't talk to them. Don't make themselves agreeable. Don't open up any lines of communication, and don't respond when we try. And they tell us that they're going to make money on the net, and I tell you that that's a crazy notion. Philip, you said nothing to us. Harold, you said nothing to us. Ross, you said nothing to us. Rose, you said nothing. Tiffany, you said nothing. For all the people that are out there looking in the window. It's now time that I should say the following things. First of all, this is all recorded. That's right. Because I want to be, when I face St. Peter, and he says, what did you do on the internet, Dr. Red? I said, listen to these tapes. I want proof, and I'm getting it. And the first thing we're going to do here today is remind you that there are two audiences. There's the studio audience, the people that are here right now who come together from all over the world. And they say they're serious about making money, well, we're going to see. And there are all the thousands of people who listen to us on YouTube and through the Worldprofit Network. And these programs are terrific. And like I say, for me, this is my evidence that I was actively involved in making it better for people. Chris, you want to have an opening statement? Yeah, I look at Harold, and I look at Philip, and I look at Rose, and I look at Tiffany, and I look at all these people, and they're not doing anything. They're not breathing. They're not stepping out. They're not stepping up. They're not doing anything.
Yes, Philip, Harold, Rose, Tiffany, I know where you are. Because I've been there.
Nowhere.
I thought that the next thing you buy, you will become instantly rich. All the promises and all the bump, you believe that. You'll believe anything that will never work.
Now,
the only people it works for is the people who are selling you the program. And they're getting your money.
Today I'm going to give away an unlimited number of copies of my own book, Netprofits. This book is amazing. It tells the God's honest truth. It's like written with a diamond. And I'm going to give it to the first 4 people who ask me for a copy. And I want you to do the following things. Read it, and then come back and talk about it to me and Chris. 4 copies I'm going to give away for openers. If you want one, you're going to have to come forward and say, give me that book, Dr. Wentz. Give me that book, Netprofits. I want to know, finally, what it takes to make money. Well, I'm going to sit here for about 15 or 20 seconds to see whether anyone responds. As far as I know, they may all be, croaked. Anybody out there alive? See? We don't have a single live person. Well, that certainly makes it easy to talk. All right, so let's first of all, if they're not here, they're listening to the YouTube poll program a little bit later. After this program, this afternoon, Patrice Porter will post the YouTube program. And if you're listening to me on YouTube, I want you to come into www.worldprofit.com, and I want you to ask the monitor on duty, first of all, ask for me. Dr. Owen, I'm usually around. If I'm around and you're one of these people who come in here and want to ask me for a free copy of the book, I'm going to give you one. With the understanding that you'll talk to me after you read it. And then, you're one of the lucky ones. Or if I'm not around, you can ask the monitor on duty and say, Dr. Lant here, and he says, no, Dr. Lant's finally slept up at 14:45 because he's on the sleep. Did he promise you a free book? Yes, sir, he did. Good, we'll give you a free book. And now I want to know, I'm going to turn this into an interactive program. I want to know from anyone who's honest enough to talk, why do you sabotage yourselves so lavishly, so frequently, so often, so effectively, so efficiently, so thoroughly? Why do you do it to yourself? Harold, Rose, Tiffany, why do you sabotage yourself by failing to understand the business, failing to inaugurate the business in a business-like way, and failing to run the business so that you have leads on a regular basis? We had a man who came in here a few hours ago, and he said that he wanted to succeed on Netprofits. He was starting his business on Saturday. He bought into some affiliate program. We were going to start on Saturday, and I said, do you have any leads? Oh, no, I don't have any leads. I said, don't you think you ought to have some leads? Don't you think you ought to? Oh, no, customers. Who the hell need customers? We don't need customers. Customers are not the only thing. Not only the thing, they are the only thing. You need a steady stream. How many of you who are associated with Worldprofit have now, and have had since the inception of your relationship with us, ongoing leads? How many of you have an ongoing source of leads? Christopher, speak to this, because these people are, that person that I spoke to was clueless. Leads? Oh my God, you mean I have to deal with people? Oh God. In Cambridge we have a slogan, it goes like this: people you love, it's humanity you can't stand.
Yes, I have leads, and I have the means of getting them. That's more important. Because if you don't have the means of getting them, well, you're never going to get them. And we have all the means to get them right here.
I talked to someone the other night who told me that she was in a new network marketing company. She loved it, and she loved the product. But there's a little itsy-bitsy problem, she said. He teaches me how to get any leads. I said, okay, look, lady, you just bought yourself a big problem. The companies that you're associated with don't know how to get leads and won't tell you. Now, that doesn't mean that the products are bad. It doesn't even mean that the company is bad. It just means that they're, shall we say, a little blinkered. They don't help you get what you have to have. So if you are in any other company in this world, and you want to make money in your company, and you need leads, step forward. Because we've been supplying leads to every single business opportunity on this planet for 20 years. And that's a fact. If you want to maintain your precarious standing in the company you're with, do it your own way, and you'll end up with just no leads. Do you know, Chris, that the average person in a network marketing company or opportunity recruits 1.5 people? I always want to know where that 0.5. Actually, they found half a person, but there you are. The average person in the affiliate program recruits 1.5 people. That's it. And you can't build an empire out of 1.5 people. In fact, that half a person is probably going to have a real problem. 1.5 people. Now, if you're in Worldprofit, and this is, listen well to me, you don't hear people going around Worldprofit saying, I need more leads, I don't have any leads, the leads stink, I can't get. They never, and I mean never, say that. You know why? Because we show them how to get an unstoppable, unyielding never ceasing, always flowing, endlessly growing portion of leads in your own field. Is that true, Chris? Am I overstating the case, or is that indeed the case?
No, that is exactly true. Just the last 3 months, I've got check 528. That's a little bit more than 1.5. But it's...
Here's the situation. How many of you would like to increase your lead sources and grow your list? I have a saying that I invented a long time ago, which is going into the language now. The list is the business, and the business is the list. If you folks are not growing lists, you're growing problems. If your business, and hence your potential for profit, extends to the furthermost boundary and not 1 millimeter beyond. In other words, your list determines how big your company is going to be. Now, I don't expect an answer, but I'm going to try. Harold, do you have a list? Rosa, have you got a list? Tiffany, have you got a list? Amon, do you have a list? I want to know, anybody out there have a list? Anybody interested in growing the list? Anyone out there interested in growing the number of your prospects? Because if you're not interested in those subjects, you're already dead. And remember, 99% of people like Tiffany and Rosa and Harold are going to fail because they're not doing anything that's remotely acceptable for success. 1% will make it. And a mere fraction of the 1% will make it in a significant way. Christopher, these people ought to be quaking in their booties. They ought to be taking out a life insurance policy because they're going to go to the top of Everest and they're just going to be stranded there. And the thing that makes it so curious for me is how happy they are as they fail and falter. How happy, how cheerful they are in the field.
Yes, they love flipping from one program to another. They've got money to burn, but they don't seem to want to learn to earn.
Now, we've got Harold and Rose and Tiffany. What I'm going to do right now, Chris, is ask you to read the offer. We have a special offer that we will put over $2,000 worth of goodies. And these aren't just random goodies. These are goodies to help you build your engine of business in your pocket immediately. And I'm going to add some goodies to it. If you listen to Chris, give him the old razzmatazz, because Harold, Rose, and Tiffany, and all the rest of these people are desperately in need of what we have. And you know what? If they haven't begun getting an inkling of that by now, well, they're probably doomed. Read the offer to us.
Okay, if you finished our silver membership presentation video, that's great. And you already know the awesome offer that we've got for you. If you order in the next 10 minutes, you get the $1,500 bonus offer made in the video. Plus, you can e-blast any website or offer to over 90,000 of our subscribers every month. You get over 500 landing pages and over 1,500 real traffic sources. Also, our monitors will start closing sales for you today without ever charging you anything. Finally, your commission earnings are from 20 to 100%. And important, if you place your order within 5 minutes, we'll place 50 members under you immediately. These hot leads are free members just like you. When you upgrade to our silver membership, you get these 50 people placed directly under you. Sign them up into your program, or if they upgrade here, you get the commission. You click on the red Order Now button to get started placing your order now. No contract, no obligation. All services backed by Worldprofit's ironclad guarantee of support and service. But there's still more. If you upgrade to a silver membership now, you also get over 500 landing pages, over 1,500 real traffic sources, sales closing 24 hours a day, over 100 training lessons, 50 members placed under you now, email blast to 90,000 per month, over 100,000 ad credits per month, 3 Facebook marketing courses on how to generate thousands of leads using Facebook marketing tactics. And remember, you can use these resources to generate leads and traffic for any business. Upgrade to Silver membership now, and you can be on your way to earning consistent income now. Your package includes traffic, leads, trusted advertising sources, a comprehensive online training program, plus sales closing assistance 24 hours a day. No other company offers you this. Worldprofit's ironclad backing is based on our 20 years in business. Upgrade to Silver membership now to receive the bonus offer with all privileges and exclusive freedoms.
You have any more for them? I got more for them. I got plenty more. Folks, I want you to look to the top of the page. You're going to see that we give you 700,000 SEO submissions. 700,000. And then we're going to give you some leads too. These are right off my list. These are called associates. That is what you are. I'm going to give the first person to place an order, and the first person only 100 of these marvelous leads. 100. Harold, Rose, and Tiffany, you should be tumbling over yourself to get these. If you don't, it's an indication of how far you are from ever being profitable. Now I'd like to ask a question that's interested me for a long time. And by the way, the offer will expire totally at the top of the hour. When the hour strikes 2 p.m. Eastern Time, the offer dies. Now, I'm curious. Why do you guys keep looking and looking and looking for businesses which you can't handle, know nothing about, and are certain to fail in? I'm just curious. I call it the lemming philosophy. The lemmings, here comes out on a cliff, high above a fjord, lots of rocks down below, turbulent seas. And they look down, and now you know that any sensible animate creature is going to say, "Get me out of here, Satan be behind me." And the lemmings don't say it that way. They say, "Hey, let's jump off and crack our brains on those rocks." They know they're going to be crushed to a lemming salad. They do it anyway. Harold, why have you failed to take constructive action? Rosa, Tiffany, I'm curious. I'd like to know. I'm a social scientist. I'm curious as to why people do strange things, witless things, things that hurt them, things that are absolutely assured to fail. Why do you do it, guys? Because here's the alternative. I guarantee you, if you follow our system, you're going to make money. No ifs, ands, or buts. You see, I don't think they're dead. I think those 3 people, I think they're just like impersonating people. There's a famous program called Night of the Living Dead. This is the Day of the Living Dead.
Yeah, maybe we should use a medium and try and get in touch with them.
Like the medium is the massage. See, no answer.
Yeah, maybe they're happy earning no money.
Hey, if they're happy, you show it.
They're scared of it. Scared of earning money. They wouldn't know what to do with it if they had it.
I think there's a very telling vignette from My Fair Lady. When Mr. Doolittle, you might know, goes to Henry Higgins one day. Now that he's taking care of Eliza, he wants some baksheesh. And Henry Higgins offers him £5. And Harold Higgins, Mr. Doolittle is horrified. He said, £5? That would make me respectable. I'd have to worry about what happens to the money. Give me £1, Governor. Give Give me a pound, I can handle it. I can squander it. I can get drunk. I can pass out in the streets. But if you give me 5, I got to be responsible. And I thought that was a very clever, typical Shavian. That's, by the way, the adjective for Shaw. Shavian insight into the human condition. Don't you think? If we gave Rosa $1 million, within 5 years, it would be gone. Well, there'd be remnants of it. Things that were there and woke.
I think it would be gone long before then. We had a fella over here who won £2.5 million on the lottery. And within 2 years, people...
I cannot tell because, you know what? Remove those 3 pills. Let's go for radical surgery to remove the cancer.
I like this bill. Hey, I am the exterminator.
I wouldn't go so far to say that. You're the moving man, because my prediction is 2 of the 3 of them moving back. I propose to spend the remainder of anything there waiting for evidence that there's somebody breathing. Now, in Russian history, in the winters, people would build sod houses which were covered with snow. And the only way you know they were in there was because of the wisp of smoke from the fireplace. And most people left those alone because when they opened the snow, the stench was so thick it made them sick.
Okay.
And so their own, shall we say, stench preserved them because nobody even wanted to eat the food. I mean, they would always want to steal food from the place where they make it when they make it sad. Interesting point. The offer expires at the top of the hour. I, for one, propose to wait it out. I'm also of the belief that there's no point in telling them anything else because they don't do what there is now. Why give them another thing to do when they haven't done all the things that they were supposed to do in the first place? The less is more school of philosophy.
That's what I think. I ask them to go and watch the video, and if they don't go and watch the video, at least watch the video. Then you know there is no chance of them doing anything.
No, they'll come back and say, what is the secret? Did you do the video? Well, no. Well, that was the secret. I don't believe, and as an educator, I'm very keen on this. Don't give people step 2 when they haven't done step 1. They never do step 1 ever in their whole lives. That's the way it is. Now, Della Hicks, are you there? Well, Ulysses is going. Was fighting in front of Petersburg, Virginia, 1954. Grant was called the Butcher, because he just threw his superior armies in and in and in and in and in until something happened. Usually the Southerners, who were by that point without any shoes and didn't have much any food, they certainly had no medicines, would finally just give in because of the sheer hammer. Anyway, one time in 1864, Grant sends a telegram to the president. He said, I intend to fight it out along this line if it takes all summer. And boy, I read that and I went, yippee! That's my philosophy. My philosophy is hit them, hit them, hit them, hit them, and hit them, and then hit them and hit them and hit them again. If you want what they can deliver, then keep hitting them. Most of these people will say, would you like to buy something from me? Jacob said, honey, I wouldn't buy the time of day from you if my life depended on it. How many of you have the stick-to-itiveness that it takes to make money? Making money is not fun. It was not designed to be fun. Spending of it, that's a different matter. Oh, that's a carnival and a half. How many of you have come to the conclusion that making money is a drag, a necessary drag? Anybody? Money making is not designed to be fun, humorous, light, airy, a comedy. It's dull. If it's done right, it's dull, boring, predictable, with minimum froth and maximum return.
Yes, because money is associated with work.
I can't even get a rise. Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life in this galaxy. Beam me up. I decided a long time ago that I come from a different planet. I am the proof that there are aliens in outer space. They dropped me off here. I think one day I was having lunch on the spaceship. They put some poison or sleeping pill in my special frothy drink, and they landed me here in Cambridge. He said, come over there and get on that internet there. Because I am very push. Please do. How many of you feel that you're, why do I ask, that you're not, or that you could up the push factor? I was talking to someone, one of the monitors this morning, and he said that basically on a scale of 1 to 10, he's a 5 for closing. I said, well, then you're not closing anything. He said, yeah, that's right, I'm not. I mean, here's the guy that knows that he's not making any closes, knows that he gives himself a 5, which I thought was excessive, but he could live with it. And then does nothing to change it. The offer will expire in 27 minutes, or 26 minutes. 26 minutes, the offer will expire. It will not be completed. Well, read us an article. The fickle finger of fate will fall on you.
Okie dokie. This article is entitled, With Every Move He Makes, Another Chance He Takes. Odds he won't live to see tomorrow. Edward Snowden. Excuse me. Oh, stupid fellow, I've lost it. Edward Snowden, a patriot in exile. By Dr. Jeffrey Lant, author's program note. In the autumn of 1968, I pulled off something that no American had ever done before. I was elected to the Student Representative Council for the largest faculty of the University of St. Andrews, the Faculty of Arts. As it happened, it was also the year the students of Scotland's oldest university, founded in 1413, elected their representative, called rector, to the governing board. Every student political party put up their candidate. The Conservatives, for example, running Sir Leary, later Baron Constantine, the celebrated cricketer and High Commissioner for Trinidad and Tobago. Independents gathered round the banner of 007 himself, Sean Connery, because the independents were, well, independent. They had no party apparatus, no natural rallying cry or point of view. They needed a miracle. What they got was a campaign manager, the SRC choosing me for the task. Thus I came to work with Connery, a smooth customer, every bit as charming and suave as the character he immortalized on the silver screen, Bond, James Bond. He offered the students a free Olympic-sized swimming pool were he to be elected. But the bribe wasn't good enough to win. Sir Leary, my future friend, romped instead, and that was fine by me. For I had met the archetypal secret agent man, at least until this summer when the smoothness of Bond was well and truly trumped by a geek named Snowden, Edward Snowden. This is his song, this is his story, and this is our problem. The music to spy by. Released in 1966, Secret Agent Man is a rock and roll classic written by Steve Barry and P.F. Sloan. Most famous recording was made by Johnny Rivers for the opening title of the American broadcast of the British spy series Danger Man. Memorable guitar riff written by Chuck Day and inspired by Monty Norman's James Bond theme makes it immediately recognizable, whilst his raucous notes made every teenage boy feel omniscient, all powerful and ultra cool as he swaggered down the street playing air guitar, shouting, "Secret Agent Man, Secret Agent Man, they've given you a number and taken away your name." Wicked cool. So now to any search engine and play it. It's time to be 16 and invulnerable all over again. Facts about Edward Snowden, born June 21st, 1983, Elizabeth City, North Carolina. By comparison, there is absolutely nothing cool, wicked or otherwise, about Snowden. He's pallid, not merely pale, his youthful face featuring just a whiff of scruffy beard and the obligatory wire-rimmed spectacles that mark him as serious, intellectual, stubborn, a man who must always have the last word and will always know and not infrequently say that whatever he does is ipso facto, the right way, the moral way, the only way. Such people are called difficult, humorless, and generally find themselves dateless of a Saturday night with only a computer to keep them company. In time, such people come to prefer this situation, for in it they rule everything and everyone. Thus, being wired becomes the only life they know, the only life they want. A life where they are the person they have always wanted to be. The undisputed king of the world, master of all, subservient to none, from whose keyboard the grandest of dreams take shape and become their sole reality. The more connected they are, the more disconnected from reality they become. Though it was for Edward Snowden. once a shy, friendless boy of uncertain prospects and difficult health. Bad at school, but within his own universe, a paladin of righteousness, rectitude, and a moral obligation to save the people and cleanse the Augean stables of what had once been the great republic, and which he would single-handedly make great again. So sustained, so fortified, so certain, he set about the work he must do. What he did. In his capacity as a technical contractor for the United States National Security Agency, NSA, and a former employee of the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, he leaked details of several wide-ranging, top-secret US and British government mass surveillance programs to the press. More specifically, Snowden leaked this information primarily to journalist Glenn Greenwald of London's left-leaning newspaper, The Guardian. Starting in spring 2013, while employed as an infrastructure analyst at NASA, contractor Booz Allen Hamilton, until June 10, 2013. The Guardian, in turn, published a series of exposés in June-July 2013, thereby revealing programs such as the interception of US and European telephone metadata and the PRISM and temporal surveillance program. Details were staggering, irrefutable, shocking. Government's abuse far more extensive and pernicious than had ever been imagined before or known. Before imagined or known. As clear an indication as any citizen needed that Big Brother was now and deeply immersed in our most private affairs and communications. Snowden had achieved what he set out to do, to inform the public as to that which is done in their name and that which is done against them. Button. Who's got the button? Having thus fomented the most significant NSA security breach in history, causing indignation amongst all members of the Congress against culprit and president, whatever their party or political orientation, consternation and dismay amongst our allies, and smug self-satisfaction and glee amongst the many nations worldwide we have accused of human rights violations. Snowden commenced his travels, necessary after U.S. federal prosecutors on June 14, 2013, charged him with espionage and theft of government property. Now, you'd think that with the largest and most expensive security system ever implemented, that picking up one geek would be child's play. Think again. Not since the Scarlet Pimpernel has there been a man of such facile ingenuity and agility as Snowden has demonstrated. The man must be coated in butter, so easily has he slipped away, cocking a snoot, gallivanting the world his oyster. To be sure, he had help, lots of it, from WikiLeaks, the dauntless organization which sums its no to every authority from the Chinese communists, who are delighted that their staggering human rights violations are, for once, buried by those of the sanctimonious Great Republic. And, of course, from Vladimir Putin, who delights in the sheer devilry and mischief that is to command. Like him or loathe him, he is the master of political leisure domain, fascinating to watch, exasperating his complete lack of scruples. All good things bring it, including the salad days of Edward Snowden. Pick up a newspaper any day now, and you're sure to find the latest installment in this expansive saga. Today, for instance, the Associated Press reports that Senator Charles Schumer, the DMY and Senator Lindsey Graham, RSC, have told President Obama to find a new place to hold the September G20 summit, nixing the current venue, St. Petersburg, Russia. I reckon they're afraid Snowden will lob a raspberry at them, and that will never do. So American authorities want Snowden back to face the music. Equally, Snowden doesn't want to return just yet, talking darkly of torture and murder if he does. What can he mean? But soon enough, even the inventive Putin will tire of the game and lose interest in his pawn, Mr. Snowden. In that moment, Snowden will be yesterday's news and today's garbage. And as his days in the sunlight wane, the reality of the rest of his miserable life will become glaringly apparent. Whether he accepts asylum from Ecuador, Bolivia, or Venezuela, it really doesn't matter which. Consider this. Open letter to Edward Snowden. First day of your long exile will be your happiest. Why? Because you'll know where you're going. You'll probably treat the first couple of weeks or so like a holiday in South America, buying a silly sombrero and getting tollywobbles. After that, things will get grimmer, faster. Money, that'll be a huge problem. You'll probably get a few bucks from the country accepting you, but that amount will plummet as your utility does. You'll catch from family and friends, but they'll soon tire of supporting you. You'll quickly come to see what living in the third world is like, and you won't like it one little bit. Particularly when you need a good dentist or a surgeon who isn't hacked. In these countries, a simple visit to the doctors can result in a death certificate. Then there's a matter of what I'll call companionship. You have a girlfriend now, and no doubt she supports you. But she didn't see her hero in exile. When she does, she'll do a lot of thinking before she sends the inevitable Dear Eddie letter. As for the local ladies, when they discover that the Americano isn't Richo, you'll find yourself with lots of free time. Time to think of your high-flying days when your name's on the lips of a posse of world leaders. You think about what you did, everything you did, justifying everything. You'll think a lot about America, about the family and friends you lost, the tidy income, gone forever. You'll find yourself misting up at the strangest time, when you think about the apple pie you love and cannot get, and the holidays spent alone. Then at your wit's end, and as sure as God made little green apples, you'll fall on your knees and ask him for forgiveness, and the pardon no president dares to give you. Then one day there'll be a knock on the door, and just for an instant, you'll see the face of someone as adamant and obdurate as you are. And you'll see the glint of metal as he puts a bullet in your head, filled with so many ideas now lost forever. When he gets back to Portland, Maine, or Tucson, Arizona, he'll be lionized. But Mr. Snowden, not everyone thought you were right, should get away scot-free. Be careful what you say, or you'll give yourself away. Odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Well, what do you think of that? I mean, it's more than a year after the event. It reads as if it was about today.
That's correct, yeah. And I expect the American government, CIA, and NSA have forgotten all about him now, so he's okay.
Ooh. We're in our last 10 minutes, so anything goes today. And Brian, you are looking in. You're probably gone now, but you are indeed a silver member. So why are you coming in as an associate? delegates.
I've tried to get Brian to follow the instructions time and time again, but he still keeps coming back in as an associate. That's right, yeah, George. That's someone who's not going to make any money because he obviously doesn't know how to follow instructions.
I'm sitting here thinking about that Edward Snowden article. I mean, that part of the article where he comes in as a fiesta for 2 weeks is so true. I mean, that's exactly the play out. And what we hear from now is that every once in a while a picture shows up, which you're doing an interview or whatever it is. But his news is now old news, and his utility is gripping away to the point where he'll be like everybody else, and at a certain point he will have no utility at all. And that will be the end of his life. We go up until a certain point, but not to the whole thing.
Yes, well, he can't go out in the daylight, he can't go out in the street, you know, and what life has he got? He's got no life.
Well, he made his point. My father, good conservative that he is, said, "Don't like what he did, but I like the fact that he did it." In other words, it produced information that a good conservative like Daddy was appalled that the government was doing these things. And if it had to take Edward Snowden, he didn't like that way at all. But on the other hand, it was a trade-off. And I think a lot of people felt that way.
Yeah, but why are people surprised at these things? Because that's what governments do.
Oh my God, you are not an American. I forgot. It's time to hit you on the head with the revolutionary mallet. Why? Because Americans don't play that nasty game that Europeans play. It was Woodrow Wilson who was one of our most dangerous presidents, the president during World War I. Created what we call the 14 points. Open covenants openly agreed to was one of the 14 points. Why? Because Americans don't play that game, Chris. Brits play that game. Germans, Russians, they're not Americans, so they don't play that game. I just think we don't play very well. Comment?
Well, because America's got so many secret services and neither one of them know what the other one's doing, so you're bound to trip over each other on the way.
Do you know that for the Boston Marathon massacres, they started to do an analysis of all the different agencies that were involved in one way or another with that incident? They didn't have to share information. Some had it, some didn't. Some thought they were a great risk, some thought they were no risk at all. So who's to blame when the analyses are all over the map? You can't say one thing or another because you're contradicted. It was appalling going into the documentation, looking at who knew what when. Particularly, those brothers were on somebody's list and they weren't on other people's lists. So it depended whose list you wanted to believe. And of course, they believed the list that said that they weren't an annoyance. They weren't a threat. Because you see what that like this to.
Well, if they're not a threat, it'd be very scary to come across someone who is a threat.
Yes, but they weren't on all the different lists that the big threats were on. They were, so it isn't true that they were not known, because they were known in the intelligence community, but it was true that they weren't on every list. And if they weren't on every list, that meant that they were less of a problem. Although I don't see how that works. If you're a terrible risk and you have one problem, this and you have no risk on another place, I don't think that works.
If you're on one list as being a risk, that's enough list. You don't need any more.
Now we have the esteemed pleasure to bring up Patrice Porter, who's not a risk at all, and she doesn't blow things up to bad proportions, and I'm so glad of it. Patrice is one of our most optimistic members. Here she comes, Miss Tomato Farm. Here she comes, right here, the dream of a million peaches, still on the tree. Here you are. We covered a lot of stuff today. It's so frustrating to have people here who don't tell you a flippin' word about what you can't talk to them. They don't respond. They're not making any money. It doesn't seem to bother them. I don't get it.
Well, you just wonder, what are they looking for? I mean, we have a wonderful opportunity here that for people that do want to.
Just came in out of the rain.
If people are looking to make money and set up an international home-based business, this is the place to be. And you were telling it like it is, and it's just up to those people if they want to take the opportunity. And if you want to catch the replay of this show, you can catch it on the YouTube channels Patrice Porter. And there's some other earlier recordings of the Anything Goes programs on the YouTube channel Pat Porter. And it'll also be uploaded onto our new Worldprofit tube at www.worldprofittube.com. And if you want to check out my Home Business Central developed here at Worldprofit, you can go to www.20waystoprofit.com. And also I've created a business helping people to create abundance by gardening with the tools and resources from Worldprofit here, and that's at www.gardeningforfoodsecurity.com. And with that, I'll say my adieus till the next Anything Goes, and I'll be up again later this afternoon. Bye for now.
That's Patrice Porter from Big River, Saskatchewan, in Canada. She's always so sweet and charming. I don't see how she does it.
Well, it's just the same way as I do it. You can't help being sweet and nice and stuff.
Yeah, the reason you're sweet is because you've tasted every different, like saccharin and these different ones that they have now. You probably tasted them all.
I don't like saccharin.
I don't like saccharin.
Graham.
Okay, now Graham Howe. Graham was at one point a member, and he's already fled. Well, we're going to finish our program. We're just about a minute away from closure. In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked upon as something shocking. Now, God knows, anything goes. We were here every single day at Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Sometimes I wake up and go, anything goes? Okay, I'm going. I'm hiding out in the park. We have some new bushes and shrubs and trees that they planted, so we have more place to hide out. If there's anyone in this audience that has not identified themselves who's interested in making money, do it now. I did have to give away my special offer. That's unfortunate, but for somebody, the next person that still applies, the next person who purchases gets 100 associates, copy of my book, Netprofits, the complete $2,000 offer, and everything else that we've got. But what I want to know is from anyone who comes in here and doesn't talk, why do you do it? Why do you sit there like a horsefly and say absolutely nothing when people are anxious to help you, tripping over themselves to help you?
Yeah,
do you have a last thought?
You get people come here 80, 100, 150 times, and they never say a thing. What are they hoping to achieve? I don't know. The mind boggles.
Well, I shall leave on this happy note. The Emperor William, the first emperor of United Germany, had a wife who liked to talk things out. And when he didn't feel like talking to her, which was most of the time, she would say a question to him, and he'd say nothing. And this would go on for a while, and she got more and more enraged. And finally, she threw crockery at him. She took the family micing, priceless micing, whack! Speak to me, whack! And he wouldn't. The more she said, speak to me, and threw things at him, the quieter he got, because he knew it was really, really pissing her off. Well, on that happy note, friends, we'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Please try to bring your Vocaloids with you. I would appreciate it. It's Dr. Jeffrey Lant, your host, signing off for today.
Thank you, Dr. Lant.